sales tax system, the United States Citizens Tax Bill of Rights. Well, one thing that was really cool was, first off, the overall abolishment of an income tax or any taxes except for one tax across the land. I think that'll provide for super fairness and overall efficiency. And plus, I think one thing as an editorial comment, I think it's going to really stabilize our government and stabilize our economy, as we'll have no odd fluctuations in taxes ever again. The second is the abolishment of the IRS. Well, what's really significant about that is we're going to be able to privatize tax collecting, and it will be at no cost to us, as the federal banking system is already set up, and it's just a matter of upon making deposits, if you're a store or business owner, upon deposits they take their 3 to 5%. Simple, again, easy, efficient. I think now your tax obligations are finished with that easy. I mean, there's no more withholdings or any of the things associated with having to manage taxes as a business owner. That I thought was really cool. But lastly, what I thought was really cool, and you think about how they talk about taking away all the oppression by the fact that it's such a perfect system of collection. I mean, it is as close to being perfect as anything. There will be no more tax punishment, no more tax courts, no more tax people going to prison for taxes, which is phenomenal. I think that is a great step in making our economy a lot more positive and a lot more better place to do business in. So that's really cool. It's easy to get involved now. Just go to your senator's website or your representative's website. Zing them a letter and say NATTAX or go home. NATTAX now or go home. Also, you'll be able to find a downloadable copy of the the Tax Bill of Rights on onetaxforall.com, onetaxforall.com. And if you haven't been to our site, it's really cool. It's very graphic. It's got a new technology that's perfect for iPads. It's swipe technology, where the site goes left, right, up, and down, and all sorts of diagonal navigation. But what is really good is the bold letters that just break the message down into as simple as statements are on the site that are just buzzwords that everyone agrees. Democrats, Republicans, Tea Party, Independents, Liberals, Conservatives, even IRS agents agree our tax system is way too complicated. This new NATTAX is like the ultimate middle-class tax cut. It's like giving ourselves a raise by shifting that money over into the consumer sector. And everyone agrees we all need to pay our fair share. What you might want to know about our current tax system and why we need to change it as quickly as possible is there are over 44,000 pages of laws and regulations. That's over 5.5 million words, and there's over 721 different forms. It is, and this is a quote, a patchwork maze of complexity and a testament to confusion over common sense. And 9 out of 10 taxpayers could not fill out their taxes if they wanted to. So again, this is just the current tax system just needs to be just abolished. I mean, it really needs to be. It's the system. It needs to be abolished. And it's not really to the hard-working people at the IRS, because I'm sure they're all honorable people. But even them in their heart of hearts have to know that when something's not working right or something's wrong, something has to be done. But Thomas Jefferson said, and this attests to the problem of our tax system, it's a big government. A government big enough to give you everything you want, strong enough to take away everything you have. And that was Thomas Jefferson back in the 1700s said that. Again, one of the founding fathers of our country. And one of our slogans here is liberty, justice, and one tax for all. Matter of fact, we have a George Washington T-shirt that says just that, with the Constitution in back, with a cool shot of George Washington that says liberty, justice, and one tax for all. And Citizens, corporations, businesses, non-citizens, even underground businesses, we all have to pay this tax, as opposed to an income tax. John F. Kennedy said, the largest single barrier to full employment of our manpower and to a higher rate of economic growth is federal income taxes. So for all you conservative Democrats out there wondering if there's a home for you in this, it is. This is a non-political tax. This tax attaches itself to no political party. It is so fair that everyone reaps the benefits of a stronger economy and a more stable economy. Think about this. There are probably 20 major benefits, and one that a lot of people say, well, how does this affect the poor? Well, one thing is it eliminates all excise taxes. And I'm not saying poor people are an unordinary level of smoking cigarettes or drinking or having to buy gas, but either way, all the excise taxes are gone. So there's little incidental taxes that just add up. They're no longer there. There's even distribution of all taxes across all segments of business and individuals. The government basically goes on a cash collection system. There's no more late or unpaid taxes. Again, giving us more stability. There's no more printing, as I say, funny money to prop up our government spending, as that eventually, as we can see what's happening anyway, we go into almost like a cashless society, where we basically, the value of our dollar is based on the value of our country. It does eliminate one segment of our government, the IRS, which cuts down on spending in Washington. It eliminates hundreds of laws off the books. It eliminates tax courts and incarceration, as we talked about. There's no punishment for personal success. No taxing income. Taxes will never have a negative impact on a segment of a business again. We'll eliminate the inheritance tax. We'll eliminate the capital gains tax. And it'll be like to the middle class getting a raise. This could help finance the national care health care plan if we ever decide on what we're going to do there. And it's already in operation by the banks. There's no more income withholding system that makes business owners the nation's tax collectors. Only one tax, no other federal taxes, and we hope this will become an amendment. There will be no more tax forms, no more tax returns. There will be no more need for tax accountants. There will be no more tax evasion, as everyone has to pay their taxes. There are no more deductions or loopholes. We eliminate all tax law punishment. I've said that before. Those are just a few of the benefits. So what's fundamentally, this is just like having a state sales tax. It's no more difficult. The only difference between this and a state sales tax is we extend it to all financial transactions. I will get into right now something that we all need to be aware of and not to be fooled by is the flat tax, which again is an income tax, and I call it the patch tax. Because as soon as Rand Paul has already said that his flat tax proposal is at 17%, well, by the time it's over, his flat tax will be 20% because he only plans to tax income, and that's on individuals again. And again, it actually puts us right back to where we're at, and that's why I call it the patch tax. So don't be fooled by the patch tax. And also, don't be fooled by the fair tax. There is absolutely nothing fair about the fair tax. As a matter of fact, it is the unfair tax. The fair tax is set up so that depending on your income level, as low as I think 10%, but as high as 24%, depending on your tax rate, is you pay a sales tax on consumer goods only. So it really punishes the consumer sector again, and it really punishes us, the citizens, again, and really doesn't make any of the businesses or any other people doing business in the United States pay their fair share. Matter of fact, they even state corporations will pay no income taxes under the fair share system. So squarely everything falls back on the back of the citizens where we pay everything. The unfair tax, do not vote for an unfair tax. Matter of fact, when someone says the fair tax, just go, you mean the unfair tax? Because imagine this. Let's say you're one of the higher rates. Say you're at 15%. 15% plus you add your state sales tax of 7%. Now you're up to 22%. Who can afford to buy a car when you have to pay 2 to 22% tax just to purchase a car? You'd end up financing taxes. So do not fall for the unfair tax, as they call it. A couple little fun facts that came about as digging up the argument and the reasons for a NATTAX, a national sales and transaction tax, as Einstein is quoted as saying, and this is absolutely nails our situation with our federal government to a T. And Einstein said, any intelligent fool can make things bigger and more complex. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. Everything should be as simple as possible, but that does not mean simpler. The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created those problems. Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And let me just tell you how simple the NAT tax will work. Here, this is your scenario. I'm going to show you how complex it is to pay your taxes from here on out. You go and you buy any goods or services. You'll pay a 3 to 5% on that purchase, and all your federal income taxes have been paid for that amount of money that you had to spend. And I got to tell you, we are in dire straits. We have to stop where we're at in our government. We are totally out of control. Our government has totally destabilized our economy. And between high fuel prices and the government, we are in a new economic crisis. It's not deflation. It's not inflation. We're in what I call destabilization crisis. And until we stabilize ourselves, it's like trying to do business in an earthquake. And that's where we're at. Not to bore you with too many details, there is a method behind this madness and just a little bit of education, and that'll probably be it for today. But where does all this money come from? It actually comes from our great economy. We have $16 trillion in GDP. We have $13 trillion in personal income. Now, this is based on 2012. And non-GDP, we have almost $1 trillion. And of the underground, what they call the underground economy, 1/3 of $1 trillion. Secondhand sales, another 1/3 of $1 trillion. Benefit transactions, another 1/3 of $1 billion. Unreported legal activities, another $1 trillion. Overseas production, I can't even get an exact number on this, is at least $1 trillion. Imported transactions, another $1 trillion. Another non-GDP export transactions, another 1/3 of $1 trillion. Wall Street, $45 trillion. And in private investments in real estate, another $15 trillion. So that creates almost $90 trillion. And then there may be more, there may be even more transactions than that. I don't think there's less, but I do have a suspicion there might be more. So the good news is if there's more transactions, our tax rate will go down and we'll all pay less taxes. Everybody will pay less taxes. So now you can take action today, and all you have to do is go to the internet, go to your search engine and search for contact a senator or contact a representative, or you can go directly to www.senate.gov, www.senate.gov, or you can go to www.house.gov for your representatives. That's www.house.gov, and there are links there that get you your address. And we want to tell them, Nat tax now or go home, because we are Americans first. We're not Republicans first, and we're not Democrats first. We're Americans first. And let them know if they don't want to become an American first, that we will send them home. And we will replace them with representatives and senators that are Americans first. Well, that's it for today, folks. And all I have to say is we are Americans first.